When it comes to honeybees, their existence and worth extends much further than just stinging and producing honey. As key pollinators to 70% of all foods humans consume, bees play a major role in providing necessary nutrition and an appropriate standard of living that we have so heavily become reliant on. As they also contribute to plant life that aids in medicinal research and medicine production, it is safe to say that we need bees for our own continued healthy existence. Honeybee populations on all continents are in a slow decline. This has been occurring over many decades, but it was only in the last decade that the drop of numbers made headlines. In Europe and the US, losses have dropped to 30%, 40 to 50% more recently. So what is the problem? There are several commonly reported causes that are responsible for the decline of bee colonies all across the globe. While some point the finger at deadly parasites wiping out colonies, others blame things from harmful pesticide use to unusual weather patterns and changes in ecosystem availability. Let's have a look at the three most common. The varroa mite. Smaller than a match head, the varroa mite has firmly planted itself within many bee colonies across the globe. All continents except Australia report its devastating effects to honeybees, the spread often occurring due to relocation of the bees for shared pollination and when out foraging. Although varroa mites do not directly kill the bees, they embed themselves within the developing bee cells, causing developmental issues and weakening the colony, meaning that the bees are susceptible to illnesses and not able to perform their duties sufficiently. Climate change. The changes in climate that have occurred over the past decades are having detrimental effects on the daily lives of the honeybee. Certain plant species flower during precise temperature conditions. With the change in climate attributing to extended winters and extreme arid summers, plant and pollinator mix-matches are occurring. The mismatch caused is believed to be because adult honeybees have not been born yet, leaving the plants without pollination during their prime pollinating period. A botanist in Washington, D.C. has recorded how bloom patterns are happening 1 month earlier than in the 1970s. Additionally, Europe has reported how summer rains have changed landscape conditions that the native bees are not accustomed to. The daily use of pesticides, specifically neonicotinoids, are having damaging effects on the lives of honeybees. Often blamed for the demise of colony numbers, there is conflicting information about how much harm neonicotinoids are actually doing. In Europe, pesticide use has been banned due to its damaging effects to bee populations, where in Australia and Canada, neonicotinoids continue to be used but report that their bee populations are virtually unharmed. Statistics the world over is a wake-up call that action must be taken to improve bee numbers. In the US and Europe, bee colonies have been reduced by 30% in the last decade. In Australia and Africa, reports have indicated a minimal loss, but the threat is ever present. In Asia, there have been cases from Japan of significant colony loss, while in China, data has not been retrieved, but reports indicate a decline in bee populations. Why should you care? Without bees to pollinate our fruits, nuts and vegetables, the world would either become devoid of a variety of produce or humans would have to take over the role by hand pollination. It is estimated that globally, honeybees contribute $153 billion towards the overall production of crops, 23 to 57 billion of that from managed colonies. These species of plant could become extinct if bees disappeared forever, as they rely on bees 100% for reproducing flowers, fruits and nuts. Animals directly reliant on extinct or damaged crops may suffer gravely, and the product they supply to humans may become inadequate. We would live in a flowerless landscape. There could be reduced medicinal production, meaning healthcare could suffer. What can we do? Plant bee-friendly organic flowers wherever possible, such as in potted plants on doorsteps and balconies and backyard garden beds. Refrain from using pesticides as much as possible. Support action towards ecological farming and preserving wild habitat to ensure bees have an abundance of foraging areas. Buy organic produce. Thanks for listening.